Hey our friends, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well, you and your family. I hope you guys had a good last week and enjoyed some of my videos, but also had a good weekend because this past weekend was Easter. So if you do celebrate Easter, I wish you guys a happy Easter, and I hope you guys were able to see some of my Easter videos from last week and were able to do some crafts with some of the ideas that I put out there. If not, I hope you enjoyed my bunny crafts if you don't celebrate Easter. But if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you at least enjoyed the outside, maybe did some of my other craft videos, or kept yourself busy doing something else. So I hope you guys are continuing to keep yourselves occupied, still having good days, enjoying the weather outside, and still continuing to do some schoolwork, maybe some reading, playing some music. Whatever keeps you happy and occupied and active, please continue to do so. Always keep that optimistic attitude going during this time. I know it's not easy, but hang in there. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video for Learn to Draw and Paint. So welcome. So I'm gonna show you so this is just my example. It's a little curled up at the moment. All I used was regular printer paper, so I'm going to show you how, if you are using just regular printer paper or a different kind of paper that's kind of flimsy like this, I'll show you how to mount it a little bit better onto another piece of paper so that way it doesn't curl as much. The reason why it's curling, the reason why it's curling so much is because of the moisture of the markers. It will do that to some of the paper depending on what kind of paper you are using. So in order for that to stop, you might want to mount it onto a different piece of paper like construction paper. And if you don't have that, if you don't have construction paper, or it's fine working on this, that's totally fine. You just might have a little curling. You might want to pin it up to like a bulletin board or something, or maybe put it on your fridge. But just so you know, like if you are working with marker and you're doing like a whole page like this, it will tend to curl. So if you don't want that to happen, I recommend using like a stiffer paper, maybe even like a cardstock. Or I really like these sketchbooks. These are mixed media sketchbooks. These are really handy dandy. You could buy these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I think they have some at Walmart. They're really good, better quality paper, and you get a lot out of it. It's just a little thicker, especially when you're making different kinds of art, especially like mixed media. You could paint on here, you could draw, you can use marker, you could use glue, and they'll tend to not curl as much on you, but that's why I recommend it. If you want to get this, it's a better idea than maybe using regular printer paper. But like I said, try to use what you have at home. I don't want you guys to go out during this time. I want you guys to stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. So just use what you have, and I'll try to see what I can do or suggest to you of other things that we could do. So I'm gonna put my camera down to the table. There we go. Whoop. Sorry, 1 minute. Whoop. Okay, there goes my popsicle stick. No. Too far. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. Sorry that took a minute. Still getting the hang of this after week 4, 5, is it? I don't know, I lost track. So this is what we're going to be doing. I call it kind of like a warm color, cool color lesson. So I don't know if you have learned this in school yet. I'm going to use stuff to hold this back so you can see. So in school, I don't know if you guys have learned this yet, but if you haven't, I'm just going to go into a brief overview of it. So your warm colors, meaning warmer colors, or the colors that are warm on the color wheel. So think about a color wheel that, wheel that has a bunch of different colors on it, kind of looks like rainbow, but in a circular form, or format, I should say. They have colors like red, yellow, and orange on it. Now those are your warm colors. Now other colors that fall under the warm colors could be like a pink, or maybe a fuchsia, or a light yellow, like a faded yellow, you know, or like different shades of reds, yellows, and oranges, but also pink falls under that category. Now, when I mean cool colors, is your purples, greens, and blues. Also, like different colors of those would be like turquoise, or like lavender, lime green. Those would be your cool colors. So these are your warm colors right here, and then these are your cool colors. So I'm gonna show you how to make this. And there are so many different ways that you can make it. So this is just my example, and I started here with some circles, and I made that circle with the rings coming out, and then I did my hand on top of that. So, but you don't have to do circles. You could do squares, you could do triangles to make like a ripple effect. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So I'm gonna move this off to the side. Put my sign on the other side. Turn up the music. Okay. So first I would get a pencil. If you are doing something circular, if you have a compass, I don't know if you guys know what a compass is, but they help you with circles. If you want to start off with something like a roll of tape to make a circle, and then make little circles inside of that tape, or a big circle to help draw the bigger rings. But start off small, and then you're making kind of like your rings bigger and bigger as they go out. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna do a square example, just so you could see that there are so many options to doing this. You could do a triangle. I saw one where it's like a hexagon. You could do a hexagon. You could do a circle. You could even do shapes if you want. If you really want to do like a heart or a star, it would be a little bit more challenging, which I suggest that you should do if you feel like it. Challenge yourself. Definitely challenge yourself, especially during this time. You have time to make mistakes, challenge yourself to do different things, and to do things even better. So definitely challenge yourself. So I'm gonna do a square just to challenge myself just a little bit, and to show you guys some differences that you could do. Now, as you get bigger, you may want a ruler. So I suggest for this project, sorry, I should have said this before, all you're gonna need is paper. Like I said, maybe something a little stiffer than just printer paper, but if you just got printer paper, that's fine. So paper, possibly a ruler, some markers, maybe a Sharpie. Parents, if you are watching and you don't want your kids to use Sharpie, just go ahead and use the black, where is mine? The black Crayola marker to do your outlines. So the reason why I did outlines is just because it makes it pop a little bit more, and it keeps your lines a little bit more crisp. And I'm gonna do pencil first and then do black lines just to show you a little bit better here and there. All right, so I might actually zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay. So for right now, I'm starting off small, so I'm not gonna bring in my ruler yet. Oh. And start off with pencil, because, you know, we all make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you could always erase, and then you're gonna color it in with marker anyway, so you won't see that pencil line if you do. I don't like that again, so I'm gonna erase that again. All right. So this is the point where I'm gonna bring in my ruler, my handy dandy ruler. If you don't have a ruler, just find something straight edge. It could be like the edge of a box, edge of a book. That's not important because I don't want you to get markings all over someone's nice book. Or, I mean, if you have like a popsicle stick, you could use a popsicle stick. I'll show you. See? And so what I'm doing, especially for the square, I'm just making a line. I'm going a little further than this line because we want our corners to kind of meet up as they go out to show that the square is getting bigger. So you're going to extend that line a little further than right here. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. So here's where that line ends, and then it goes up in order to complete that square form. But now it's at, this is creating like the other edge, and then the top part of the paper is creating that other side of the square to make the full square. But now our square is going to get cut off. We're just going to be seeing the bottom side and then the left side of the square. I hope you guys are understanding what I mean. So then I'm going to turn my ruler and try to work on the inside of the ruler, not on the outside. Don't cover up your square. You want to be able to see what you're doing. So move the ruler a little bit onto the left a little bit more. So that way you could see where you're drawing your line. And then you could erase any markings that you left behind. There we go. All right. So all you see now is the bottom line and then the left line, or the left side of our square. So now I'm just gonna keep going. And I'm just going down, not even, so where are we going? I'm going down maybe a ½ an inch. That makes any sense to you. If you wanna go bigger, go for it. I'm actually maybe gonna go bigger this time, to show you that you can start off really small, really thin, or you can make your lines a little bit thicker. That's fine too. It's easier to color in, I feel like. So I'm gonna make my lines a little bigger. And remember, I'm extending past this line just a little bit, so don't go too far. So I'm not going all the way out here to the middle of the paper. I'm just going maybe like a ½ an inch before, or when that line ends. Yep, about ½ inch, ½ of an inch further out than this line. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Oh, sorry, I'm going out of view. Oop. There we go. Now, if you want to go a little bit bigger, you can. If you don't like the idea of just eyeballing it and making the thickness of your lines or your spaces, you know, just random, you could use your ruler as kind of like a thickness helper. So I'm going to go on the outside. So I'm going to line my ruler up to this line, and I'm going to use the ruler thickness to help draw my next line. And then same thing with this side. So you might have to extend this. So there's multiple ways of doing different things. Like there's not one right way to do everything. Sometimes there's different ways. So there we go. See, now that's a big, okay, there we go. Whew. I might have to zoom out. Okay, so that's a big difference compared to these lines to the thickness of my ruler. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it. You could even cut that in half if you want. No biggie. But you know what? Variation meaning sizes vary, or you have like a small one here and a big one here. Sometimes that's a good thing. Variation, that is, I try to teach you guys some vocabulary. So variation, or like, I don't know, some art terms. So variation of size can also help with your artwork. Give some variety. So multiple different ways of seeing it. Alright, so now I'm to the point where I think my next corner is going to be cut off. So I'm just going to continue this line off to the edge of the paper. Or off the paper. There you go. And then go ahead, add your next line. Or your last line. There we go. See? Now, if you don't like that thickness, if you feel like that's too big of lines or area, go ahead and cut those in half. I might do that to some of them. So, go down a little bit. There we go. There you go. So, like I said, some of these things just take time, maybe like trying it out and then seeing that you don't like it. You could always go back, add your lines. Now you can't obviously go back once you started coloring it, but now's the time that you could go back, change some things if you like. See, ooh, that line. Make sure your ruler is straight, because my line was very crooked that time. There we go. Alright. Alright, I'm just gonna do this one. Ooh, that's a little close. Ooh, what is going on here? Okay, I don't like that. There we go. All right. Okay. So I got all my lines down. So for this one, I realized that I started maybe like further from the corner. You might want to go a little further in, but that's up to you. You don't have to. But this is just a different way of showing you how I did it on this one, but you don't have to. So next, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, so that way you could see the full area of my paper. Okay, so next, what you can do is for this one, I just did my hand, because you have a hand. You got it. You don't have to like go for anything. You don't have to find anything. You could just use your hand. I think hand art is very cool in a sense, because you could do so many things with. You can make like shadow puppets. Like you could do a lot of hand artwork. Just like hand turkeys. When you were like in kindergarten, or like for example this. You can make your hand into a form of artwork, which I find very exciting and very special. And you know what? If you do have this for a long time, you could say, hey, that's the size of my hand when I was like 8 years old. Look how tiny it is. My hand's obviously bigger, but your hands might be smaller. So you could look back and be like, hey, that was my hand at 8 years old. So that's kind of cute. Now, if you don't want to do your hand, that's totally fine. I am also going to recommend that you try to challenge yourself, maybe a little bit more. And, whoops. So if you have maybe a different shape. So for example, I did circles on this one. If you want to do a circle on this one, or like a bunch of circles, you could do a circle of different sizes. So you could do a big circle here, medium circle, and then a small circle. You can do that. You could do like triangles here and there of different sizes. Or what I did, I don't know if you guys could tell at the bottom. So I did like a little kitty cat, or a little cat at the bottom, just to show that you could do like a silhouette. So this is the silhouette of my hand. Now if you guys don't know what a silhouette is, I'll try to explain it the best I can. So a silhouette is the outer outline of things. So if you see your shadow, you're not going to see your nose in your shadow. You're not going to see the color of your clothes that you're wearing. You're just seeing a black shadow on the pavement, and it's just the outline of you, because the sun is just capturing your form and then projecting it onto the pavement. So that's your shadow, but your shadow is a silhouette of you. Now, a cat silhouette is the shape of a cat, or a dog silhouette is the shape of a dog. So if you were at a movie theater and you put a bunch of animals behind a screen, you might be able to see what they are. Anywho, I hope that gave you some insight to what a silhouette is. If you don't know it, I'm sorry if I'm babbling. I just want to make sure you guys are understanding what I'm talking about. So, I'm just going to do my hand, because this is what I have. So I'm not going to put it in this little square part whatsoever. I'm going to try to keep it in the middle of the paper, or maybe off to the left side. And then I'm going to go ahead, trace my hand. Sorry, I'm like trying not to knock into the camera. There we go. All right, make sure you don't move your hand. It may be a little bumpy, but you could fix that, you know. Remember, you could always erase, maybe round some things out. I got some of my hair tie in there, so I'm just gonna erase some of that. Try your best. May not be pretty, but you can always fix it just here and there. I'm just fixing mine, making my fingers more curved. Just kind of making it a little bit more neat. But you know what? I think everything else is fine. I'm being too nitpicky at it. So now, what I want you to do is, I feel like we should outline last. So what I want you to do first, sorry, long pause. I was just thinking, because I just drew my lines with the Sharpie straight, and that just helps me keep my lines together. Now the reason why I say that we should do it last is because I don't want you blending your markers together into that black. I'm a little bit more experienced, I should say, or have had more practice, so I tend to stay away from the black marker. I don't want it to contaminate or get into your other colorful markers. So let's just go with some of the markers that we have. If you have pink and want to throw it in with these colors, go for it. I have no problem with that. If you want to start from the top and work to the bottom, we're going to start with the hand. So the hand is going to be with our warm colors. And you can start from the top and work your way down, or you can work your way up. So from the bottom up. So I think I'm going to work from the bottom up. So if you want to start like a rainbow, you can. So let's start off with red. So if you want, you could go straight to orange after red, but since I'm working with red and I don't want to close it yet, if you want to put the cap on the back and use it for a while. Now the tricky part with this is that you might mess up, so you might want to go right to orange, but if you want to help yourself out, just skip this one and this one. So this is orange, this is yellow, and then this one is my red. So this one is my next red. If you want to go ahead and do this now, you can, and just kind of mark the red spots for you, so that way you kind of stay in sync with what you're doing. So this is my orange, this is going to be my yellow, and this is going to be my red. So this one is a little trickier because there's a line going up too. So go ahead, maybe just outline what your red is going to be. Or put like a mark. Mark it for yourself. Or I could be making this too complicated and you should just go to orange. It's up to you. I find it faster to just keep my red out. So that's going to be my yellow, that's going to be my orange, and that's going to be my red again. So let's just, for the sake of it, just go back. So after I did my red, I completed this first one. I'm going straight to orange. There we go. All right, so next color is yellow. Boop. Okay, and you're probably like, wow, she's going fast. Now, I want to teach you a little trick that I learned from so when I was maybe like 8 or 9, I took a cartoon class at my local park district, and I will never forget it. He told us, and I feel like it is true, that if you work on the side of your marker instead of just using the tip, it's a lot faster and you're using less ink. So you're just using what you need. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So I'm not working this, I'm kind of turning my arm so that way I'm working up. Then again, I am working from the bottom up, so I am turning my arm a different way too. So I'm kind of turning my marker and I'm using the side of the marker, not the tip. Because I notice some of you are, and I am guilty of doing this too, that you guys like to go really, really fast and you like to just use the tip of the marker. Now that doesn't cover much surface. So what he taught me was that if you use the side of the marker, you're working a lot faster and you're making it look a lot neater. And it's kind of like painting in a way, by using kind of like strokes. So when you paint, you're kind of like stroke, stroke, stroke. This is just using markers instead. So I didn't finish this red one, so I'm gonna go back. So like I'm saying, you're just going line by line. Now I probably will remember this forever because it does make things look a lot more neater, less scribbly. And it kind of helps you outline a little bit better. You're staying a little bit more focused. So see, I'm just going straight across along that edge. And I just used the tip of the marker just for like those little white spaces that I've missed here and there, see? Or to outline, see? So I'm switching the angle of my marker and I'm drawing down, but with the same line technique. There we go. So I hope you guys are staying active, staying positive, having some fun while you're stuck at home. But it's all for the better. Don't want you guys getting sick. But I hope you guys are having some fun at home. Maybe cleaning out your room of old toys. Always a good thing. Or playing with your brothers and sisters, hanging out with your parents if you haven't hung out with your parents in a while. Me and my dad just finished a puzzle that was like 1,000 pieces, so me and him are very happy about that. Puzzles are fun, actually. Some of you may not have the patience for puzzles, but I think they are a great challenge. So, I don't know, I recommend doing a puzzle this next week. So, do a puzzle. Maybe not like a 1,000-piece one like I did, because that took maybe 2 or 3 weeks to work on. So if you don't feel like starting a puzzle that big, then I don't recommend it. But maybe just, you know, start a little puzzle. Hope you guys are watching some good movies. I just saw the movie Onward. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It's on Disney Plus. Yes, I have Disney Plus. My brother actually got it for us because he's very into the Star Wars. But Onward was a very good movie, so if you have a chance to see it, go see it. Or, well, not go see it, but watch it if you have Disney Plus. Maybe rent it on demand. I think they have it on demand too. I know Trolls is on demand, so I kind of want to buy that or rent it, that one on demand, because that one looks like a good movie. Looks fun. It's all about different music types, so at the Academy of Music and Art we encourage some musical happenings here and there. So if you do take some music classes here, maybe watch the Troll movie, because it does talk about different types of music, like country. I think it talks about some rock and roll, some hip hop, some pop. So it looks like a pretty fun movie. And if you watched it, please tell me all about it. Okay, so red. Okay, this one's gonna be orange. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. And see how I'm just staying in my fingers? Now, this might be tricky for you if you can't really find, like, you lose your hand inside of all this. It might be a little tricky, so if you want to outline your hand after you draw it with pencil, go for it. It might be easier for you guys. I just want to make sure that everything is okay for you. Now, over here, you're probably like, well, I missed that whole section. So if this one is yellow, so we'll get back to that. I'll explain that in a second, sorry. But first, let's continue finishing the tips of these fingers, because we are working bottom to top. So we'll get to that thumb later, because it is sticking off to the side, which is a little bit confusing. So I'm just finishing up the yellow. There we go. And then last one is red. There we go. All right. So you're probably like, well, Miss Nikki, you missed this whole section right here with your thumb. And it's like, yes, I did, but I also wanted to save that last to show you guys that this part may be confusing, but you just have to follow your lines. Whoop. So if I did yellow right here, so your thumb's over here. I'm trying to explain this. Sorry. Okay, so see this line here where this line is intersecting or going through your thumb? So intersecting is just a fancy word for saying going through or meeting at the same point. So if it's going through your thumb, follow that line up, but you hit that corner. Now, where does that corner lead? Oh, it leads back here, which is what color? Yellow. So if this color is yellow, let's follow our finger. So go back to where we were, to our thumb, or if you want to start here, that's fine too. So go to this yellow spot, follow to the edge of that corner and go up, and you're right back to the thumb. So that thumb part, this thumb middle part, is going to be yellow. And if it helps, or I don't know what I was going to say. So now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna go a little further down, or if you wanna start here, that's fine too. So go to the tip of the thumb, follow this line down and over, and what color is that? That's gonna be orange. So go ahead, go back to where you were at the tip of that thumb, and that color is gonna be orange, so color that orange. Go. Sorry, saw a line that I didn't like. Okay. So, now that we have the hand complete, what we can do is you can outline now if you want. I feel like it's possible to outline now. And it can also help you differentiate between, I don't know. You can, I usually save outlining for last, so I think, but if you want to, it's up to you. If you feel like outlining will help you reach your end goal, which is the final look of this project, you could outline now, or you could save it for last. I usually save it for last, but it's up to you. Sometimes I don't save it for last, sometimes I just, you know, this I just went in with marker. I didn't use a pencil for this, but I want you guys to use a pencil because sometimes we make mistakes. So, all right. So now I'm gonna go with my cool colors. My cool colors, green, blue, and purple, my friends. So I think I'm gonna start with green. And so what we're gonna do, if you wanna turn your paper, that's fine too, if that helps. I'm just turning it so I could show you guys a little bit better. So I'm gonna do this first little square green. Now the next one, I'm gonna do purple. Or you could do blue, whatever works. Whatever you want it to look like. I like the purple next to the green. You could do it like a rainbow, like I did the hand, or you could mishmash it or mismatch it, whatever. Whatever works. Whatever suits your preference or what you like best. So remember, I'm just doing strokes with my marker. I'm not coloring like this. I'm doing nice strokes. See how much ink that comes out if I do it on the side rather than just using the tip? There we go. So then I'm gonna go back to my green. Got a little bit on the table. All right. I should always do this at class, but I forget. Okay. So I always forget to do this, but I don't want you guys to forget because I don't want you guys messing up your parents' table or surface that you're working on. Whether it's the floor, the kitchen table, the countertop, whatever you're working on, try to put a piece of paper underneath so that way you're not getting marker on the table like I am. But the reason why I don't mind it so much in here is because the tables are already dirty. But I would like you guys to prevent things from getting things even messier. So even in my classes, I have you guys put a piece of paper underneath. I just forgot to, so I'm reminding you now. So go ahead, put a piece of paper underneath, so that way if you do go off the paper, you're not going onto the table, okay? All right, so green. After green, it's gonna be purple. So I recommend starting at the corner and working your way out. And some of my markers are drying out, so I apologize if you see some. And if your marker is drying out or leaving some white spaces or like kind of getting to this color more than this color, then maybe it's time to start thinking about getting some new supplies or new markers. It just makes things a little bit more neat, but that's just me. But if you're cool with it, that's fine. Or like I said, I don't want you guys to go out Try to stay in as much as you can. Go. Now, I have my finger in the way, so what you're gonna do is gently around that red, you're gonna trace that finger with the blue and then keep going. There we go. All right. See how nice and neat those lines are? Can you see them? See? Nice and straight. You could even see the marker overlap of each line that I did. And that's what I kind of want you guys to get to the point of doing, is getting nice lines using your markers. I promise you, people will be like, how are you coloring so nice? And it's like, well, Miss Nikki taught me that when you use a marker, you should use the side of the marker because you get more ink and it makes it look a lot neater. Yes. And they'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And you teach some other people some things. Okay, so green, purple, blue. Okay, we're gonna go green next. So if you get lost or lose track of what color you're on, just go green, purple, blue, green, purple, blue. Kind of get that rhythm in your head. So first I want you to go to your finger and outline that part first, because we don't want that marker getting into that yellow. So outline that part first and then start with your lines. All right, I'm gonna work a little faster because I am running out of time. Okay, so green, oh, purple is next, purple. So I'm outlining my hand first, then drawing, or doing my lines, nice crisp lines. Like little spaces like this, I can see if you just go ahead and color that in, that's fine. But when you're doing like nice line areas like this or big areas, try to do this line technique. I promise you, it will make your artwork look 10 times neater. All right, so that's purple. What's next? Blue. So I'm going back to my blue. Remember, outline the fingers that you don't want to interrupt with that color. Outline that area if you can, or if you want to. And see how I'm getting some marker on the edges? That's what this paper is for. There we go. Oops, I got a little bit in the red there, but that's okay. As long as it's a little bit and not a lot. Because I don't want you guys contaminating your markers. Contaminating means mixing the colors on your marker and getting them all dirty. Especially with the warm colors, that can happen. Like if you ever colored yellow next to blue, you're gonna get some blue in that yellow marker. So that's what I'm trying to not have you guys do. If that makes any sense. Just keep your markers clean. Just, you know, have your supplies last. Because this time not to waste supplies. Go. All right, now I'm gonna turn my paper because I'm not able to reach that side as well, so I'm gonna turn my paper so that way I can reach things a little bit better. Ooh, ouch. All right, and I am running out of time, so I may not finish this, but then again, I have been talking a lot. So green, purple. Where's the one running? There we go. See how much better that looks? This may be a little time consuming, but you guys have time at home, unless you have to do a lot of homework while you're at home. But this will keep you occupied for a while, especially if you're doing a good job on it. So blue is next. So I'm working a little faster, but some of my lines aren't that great. So working fast is not a good thing sometimes. Oh, and see, now here's the corner of which that line comes all the way down. So there's that corner, so that corner is going to be blue, because that's where that line ends. But the red is interrupting it because of our hand. So then our blue is going to start on this side because it's right next to the purple. So blue, that's going to be green, purple. I'm going to stick with the blue. Just because I'm running out of time. I may not be able to outline some things, but I at least want to outline some of the hand part for you guys. But sometimes when you are making artwork, sometimes it is better to do the outline, sometimes not. It just makes lines a little crisper and kind of separates some things if you don't want things being all muddled together. And it kind of makes it almost like a coloring book in a sense. So if that also helps, go for it. And if it helps to keep your colors on track, my blue is right next to that red, and it has been ever since we got to our warm colors. So if that helps you keep track of where your colors are supposed to go, you might want to be, oh, blue goes with the red, or goes right next to the red, or the purple goes right next to the orange. So those two are right next to each other. So blue, okay. So green is after blue. There we go. But like I said, you don't have to do your hand for this project. I would love for you to explore some other silhouettes that you can maybe find around the house, or like maybe have your parents print off like a certain silhouette for you, maybe a bird or a bug, maybe a flower. You could do a flower. You could do so many different cool things with this project. So if you have another idea in your mind, go ahead, try to use it. See how it works with this. Experiment. I want you guys to think a little bit outside the box. That's what art is kind of all about. So really continue to keep your mind exploring different things and thinking outside the box. Because sometimes that's how geniuses are made. Because some of the greatest minds thought outside the box, and people are like, wow, they created some of the world's best things, like the dishwasher, or certain movies like Avatar or Star Wars. People had to create those things, but first there had to be an idea to create them. Like your favorite movie, Beauty and the Beast, someone had to create that for you. Now, some ideas may have worked, some may have not worked, but they went through a process of experimentation, seeing what would work, what wouldn't work, what people liked, what people didn't like. All right, last color, last strip. All right. Maybe turn the paper, help you out a little bit. Alrighty, I got about 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to show you the outlining basics process of just doing the hand. So go ahead, outline your hand the best you can. Try to refollow that outline that you drew before we started this coloring process. Maybe block out some colors that you may have gotten in there. And you would do this for the whole paper, but I don't think I'm gonna have time for that. And my markers are running out, so. There we go. Now I'm working. There we go. So there's the whole outline of my hand. And then go ahead, if you wanna, yeah, that might be faster. Yeah, there we go. So start here and go all the way through your hand, because that's where each line is. But when you get to where it has corners, you're going to have to change your direction. Just be mindful of that. So, see, I ran out of that purple. Don't go off to the edge of the page with that line, so now we're going to go up. And I'll kind of get the shape of that square back. So that square kind of bursting out, making it, or getting bigger and bigger as we keep working or making these different colored lines. There we go. All right, ta-da! Done. All right, I'm gonna show you the end result. There we go. Well, don't that look pretty? That looks awfully nice. I'm proud of it. I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys like this project. So now, see how it's curling a little bit? So what you would do is maybe add some glue to your paper. Now, if you do choose to add glue, or you could even, if you have like a old cereal box that you just finished, maybe have your parent cut out the shape of the large rectangle of that box, and that could be a backing for that. Or if you want to just go ahead and glue it, or staple it. You could always staple some things. I feel like that's easier. If you're not allowed to use a stapler, maybe don't. Because staplers, even though they are kind of easy to use, sometimes, you know, especially for you kiddos, they could be a little bit dangerous. So, or if you don't want to staple your artwork, if you want to glue it, that's fine. But if you want to just staple things just so it has a backing to it, and it's not a thin piece of paper, and to stop curling just a little bit, go for it. Alrighty, there you go. I love that. And I would love to see what you guys come up with and make using the idea for this project. Alrighty. So, hello again. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's art project. I hope you guys do it and maybe do something different, something using your imagination or thinking outside the box, doing something different, something creative, or you could do what I did here, following my step-by-step directions and suggestions. Also, learning that new marker technique, I promise you it will help your coloring skills improve a lot better, and use your markers a little bit better, and show your classmates like, hey, I know how to color. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are, I hope you guys are continuing to watch my videos and enjoy the projects that I'm coming up with. I hope they're not too challenging or too simple for you. If they are too simple, like I said, try to challenge yourself. Do something different. Try a silhouette or a shape. Do something outside the box. So if you want to do that, or if you want to simplify some things, making some of the lines a little bit thicker than smaller like this, you might want to start off doing that. I feel like this is a good in-between, but like I said, you could simplify it, you could challenge yourself a little bit more, whatever works. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, family and friends. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope to see you again soon sometime back in this art classroom, because I do miss you guys. So please continue to stay safe, stay clean, stay healthy, and keep washing those hands. All right, bye-bye.